Hey everyone, today we're in Oklahoma City and this is the 45th Infantry Museum. There's a bunch of stuff to look around at here, and so we're going to take you around and show you some of it. As you come in this park, they have a whole assortment of different military vehicles and tanks, planes. So there's a lot of different things out here that I'm not sure what they are. I mean, obviously that's a tank, but it's a Sherman tank is what it says. Imagine that coming your way. So the 45th Infantry was known as the Thunderbirds. And so they also used to have another symbol, which was a swastika. We'll show you some of that inside. Pretty interesting how they used to have that as an emblem. That's just one big monument right there. Little helicopter just looks like a dragonfly or something. A little bitty truck there, older one. So this tank right here, it's called an M8 motor carriage with the 75mm Hauser on this front. And says so right there, but it just so different. It looks like the front of it was just chopped off or something, or broke off. You can kind of see inside this one a little bit. So this tank right here is the Patton tank. Helicopter way up there on the pedestal. This is like some sort of carrier transport deal.
Command and recon carrier.
Yeah, there's a little sign there.
Made by Cadillac.
Huh. Quite a luxury vehicle then. It's hard to believe it's a carrier because it doesn't sit very high. It's like there's not much room in there. Lots of military equipment, vehicles and stuff to look at out here. Little cannons. So this one right here is an anti-tank gun called the Scorpion. But what's interesting is you're just out in the open with it. Sitting right there. And you got that little shield right there, and that's it. I'm not so sure I'd like that one. Look at that big bad boy right there. Another helicopter right there. Big tank right here. To see what kind of tank this is, because I have no idea. But it's big. Top of those tracks are almost to my shoulders. Heavy tank. And there's what it is right there. That's just a massive tank. Guns on it. Says it has 240mm right there. Troop transport truck. All sorts of stuff here. It's an amphibious landing vehicle there. You can see the prop underneath it there and the rudder. I like the way this one's painted though. Yeah, these are painted pretty cool right here. This one says it's a M48 medium tank. In service from 1953 to 1985. This one is an M60 main battle tank. And they had it from 1961 and started phasing it out in 1985. That big cannon right over there. This ground's a little uneven, so the camera might be a little shaky. See the front of that amphibious vehicle over there. Here's a little MASH unit. So here's a few planes over here. This is the Oklahoma Air National Guard sort of area. Let's see what kind of plane this is right there, because I'm not for sure. F-86 jet fighter is what it says right there. Pretty neat. You can see the intake right there. You have this one. Sort of looks like a A6 or something. See what it says. A7. A7. What's interesting is how they have this kind of just down on the ground. You can see the other one underneath, but this is actually kind of lifting up out of the ground, I guess. This is a sloped area right here, and so I guess it's kind of just shifting a little bit, and so it's actually lifting that block out of the ground. And this pilot's name up there is Major Stanley Newman. Pretty interesting artwork up there. See if we can zoom in a little bit. Let's see what this is. Looks like some sort of starfighter or something. F-80 jet fighter aircraft. It says the F-80 was the first jet fighter assigned to the Oklahoma Air National Guard. And then it was converted into a trainer. Pretty neat. There's lots out here. As you can see, there's actually some more equipment over this way. And this is the front of the museum right there. And so then along the back side over there, there's actually some more. This is like 15 acres out here of different military equipment. Lots of memorials and placards, things like that to read out here. And this little pavilion right there. There's a lot to see and get up close with. So now we're going to go inside, have a look at a few things. So as you can see, most people might think that this is a German helmet, but it's actually a helmet of the 45th Infantry. And that was their symbol prior to the Thunderbird. And of course, Hitler changed the meaning of that symbol, so they decided to change it so that they wouldn't be confused or associated with them. It's actually a Native American symbol for peace, though. So after that, that's when they chose the Thunderbird. So right here we have Hitler's cape taken from the Munich apartment. So right there on that sign there. And then you can see a picture of him wearing that cape right there. Almost eerie to think about that. One other thing that's pretty eerie is that this mirror was taken from the wall of Hitler's bedroom in his Berlin bunker. So to think that this mirror right here, Hitler actually stared into it and looked at himself. That's very eerie. So this mirror that was in his bunker, you can actually see this is the bunker right here that they took that out of. Right beside this mirror you can see the soldier that has that mirror right there. And he's from Oklahoma City. And then below there is a picture that they took of the area where Eva and Hitler took poison, which then Hitler later shot himself. Inside that bunker area. So on the left you can see Hitler's towels, but right there, this was in Life magazine. One of the 45th Infantry Division soldiers was laying in Hitler's bed right there, reading a book, Mein Kampf. And here's a copy of a book right there. This was his apartment in that building right there. This is actually some of Hitler's china and then some of his linen. And they're from some of his residences and dining rooms. And that's the tablecloth that would have been on that table right there. There's all sorts of artifacts in here on Hitler and the Nazis. Some of them are definitely evil looking with those skulls. Some field telephones and helmets, weapons, some daggers and bayonets. So they have an awful lot of firearms in this museum. In fact, it's supposed to be one of the most that's out there in a museum. But it kind of takes you through the progression of the wars. As you can see, it's just a whole hall, and it wraps all around several directions. Different time period weapons. Just goes through the progression of the changes. Not sure how much these weigh, but they look like they weigh a lot. Especially that one right there in the middle. The top one doesn't look light either. You can see there's tons of firearms here. They have this little mortar here, and by little I mean little. It's a stubby little thing. Here's some different Confederate States Army artillery rounds. Some of the shrapnel that was inside of them. These are pocket pistols of the Old West. So as they're gambling, someone calls them a cheater or something. They probably use these underneath the table. And that one looks like you fire it and it goes up one each time after you fire it. But you can see the one next to it is a barrel. The whole barrel rotates. And then you can see this one right there is really different looking. Almost looks more like a tape measure. Some of these are so tiny. So here are some revolvers from Colt. What's interesting is this revolver rifle. And of course there are weapons from other countries, like here are Japanese weapons from World War II and Vietnam weapons. In the far back part of this room they have some more military equipment. As you can see here, there's a bunch of it. This is a weasel and it has some tracks on it. The interesting thing is It's actually made by Studebaker. A little bitty thing here. Has some seats in the back. And over there to drive, you can see the little levers to control the tracks. It's tiny. Hate to say it, but for a military vehicle, it's kind of cute. You can see how high up that vehicle is there. Quite a climb up in that.
This is a 6-volt vehicle with a positive ground.
Actually looks pretty comfy up in there.
I think that means I shouldn't touch it.
You shouldn't touch it because it says it's a 6-volt vehicle. See the front of the ambulance there. Here's an ejection seat from a F-105. There's quite a bit in here to look at. You can actually spend hours in here reading. Some early flight stuff here. What's interesting is look at this little dog there. It looks like it has a parachute on it. I assume it's their mascot. Look at this cockpit there. So here we have this troop transport here, and they are in Vietnam. And this guy's doing his duty diligently. Looking out, he's ready, he's prepared. Then we always have the one soldier that is a slacker. He looks like he's doing something, but in reality, he's probably going to get somebody killed because he's looking at Playboy. I think we've all known somebody like that. You need to shape up, soldier. So here we have these Jeeps here. Or are they? Can you tell which one is not the Jeep? Is it that one? Is it that one? Or is it that one? It's actually this one. It's not a Jeep. It's a utility truck made by Ford. But it looks just like a Jeep. Here's a side look of that Ford right there. It looks like a Jeep. It's practically the same size. Max speed is 50. You can see the other two Jeeps right there. Another vehicle here. See a spot there for a rifle. It's kind of just little bucket seats, true bucket seats right there. Keep you strapped in. That tells me that this was probably a rough ride going over some rough terrain. So you got to strap everything in, and just how those seats are. If you look down there, there's some flamethrowers. A smoke discharger down there. And here are some gas masks. Interesting thing here. Here is a gas mask for a child. And they've actually made it look like Mickey Mouse and put a Mickey Mouse sticker on there. You know, just kind of an attempt to make it to where they're not so scared to put on the gas mask and be afraid of it and cry. Pretty terrifying actually though. Another Jeep there. That one has a heck of a cannon on it. Yeah, pick it up. It's on a chain. They wouldn't. No, they have it there. You can tell it's been worn. Is it heavy? Pretty heavy.
I think I'd have to practice them.
This is Colonel Jack Treadwell. He's the 45th Infantry's most decorated soldier. You can see there's quite a bit there. 45th Infantry was involved with the liberation of Dachau. And some of the artifacts that some of the gentlemen that were in the 45th Infantry collected. There's a whole room of different little artifacts here. Information. One of the prisoners that was there, you can see here they are in that particular concentration camp there. It's like happy and sad times all at once. Some different helmets of Germans and Prussians. All sorts of things in here. There's some grenades from World War I. Some different campaign hats there. So we're in this one little room here, and this is more on the global war of terrorism. So we have some artifacts there from Afghanistan. And then a little bit of artifacts from Operation Iraqi Freedom. A little pressure cooker right down there used in making IEDs. See AK-47 on the top there. And there's an Afghan soldier. Here are some chapel and chaplain artifacts. It's right here in the back. They have a little memorial chapel. Right here. Pretty neat little stained glass window there. Some different pictures where they were conducting faith ceremonies with a field organ. So thanks for joining me on this little tour of the 45th Infantry Museum, and if you get a chance, come check this place out. It's pretty cool.